So in this video, I want to talk to you about how to stay organized in graduate school. So if you don't know me, I'm Professor Dave Maslach. I'm an Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There are so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor for to help you out as much as I possibly can. So actually, how do you stay organized in graduate school? What are the key things to actually do well in graduate school in terms of feeling like you feel organized? So first of all, I'm a regular dude. I feel scattered and I don't have things all put together. So I'm not your guru or anything like that with getting things organized. But I've gone through graduate school and I do research on a regular basis. Almost every day in terms of doing research. So I kind of know what it's about. And, I teach graduate courses right now. I'm teaching, taught 3 different kinds of doctoral courses, taught MBA courses and undergraduate courses. So I kind of, I'm well aware of the issues that you're going through. So the first thing is just to really focus on your well-being. I think that's going to be the most important thing in terms of being organized and feeling like you are organized, is to feel like you are in control. And usually that sort of feeling of being out of control or you're disorganized or you don't have things together, it has to do with more of what's going on here than what's going on up there. That sort of organization feelings is really being driven by what you are feeling inside. So really try to work on that, maintaining your your well-being. I don't like the term mental health because there's lots of sort of stigma associated with it. I want you to sort of feel like you are a normal human being that's dealing with this kind of stuff. And with most of graduate school is that there's really people go through 3 stages in terms of how you feel about that. There's sort of lots of ways to classify this, but the first stage is you're really excited. So the excitement stage where you just love everything about graduate school and you love the sort of learning process, you love meeting new people, you love the courses, and you just are really excited about what you're trying to do. It's a new adventure that you're on. And then the sort of second stage is, this is never going to end. The never going to end stage, you feel like you're very overwhelmed and you feel like you cannot work anymore. You feel like you've just been doing this for so long. You can't get out of this sort of thing. And you're really hoping that you would end this particular thing. And then the last thing is, golly, the end is near, and you get really confident with yourself and you can feel that you can do this particular thing. And so this happens throughout not only the semester, so each semester is going to feel like that, or each quarter is going to feel like that, where you feel in each course you're just going to be like super excited for the first couple of weeks, and then you're just like, man, this is tough. And then the grind happens, and then you see the end, and then you're just like, at the end, right? And then, this happens throughout your graduate school when you're doing it as well. And you feel like, the beginning you're super excited, and then the middle you're like, oh, this is brutal. And then finally the end, and the end is always really, you're excited for it. And then when the end actually happens, it's just totally anticlimactic, where you're just like, So what you should do in terms of, getting ready for graduate school or being organized in graduate school is to really prepare yourself for these moments and sort of mentally prepare yourself for these particular moments where you're going to feel disorganized about halfway through the semester. It's usually, halfway to three quarters of the way through where you really feel disorganized and you don't know what you're doing. And you're in this sort of, this is never going to end stage. And what you should be doing is sort of preparing for this particular stage and really giving yourself, just knowing that this is going to happen, prepare yourself that you're probably going to feel tired at that moment. And you can prepare by, actually reading ahead and sort of getting some of the stuff out of the way. Although sometimes I find it doesn't necessarily work that well, because you're trying to maintain what everybody else is doing, so that when you read ahead, sometimes you sort of forget. So you have to take meticulous notes and come back to them if you're going to do that. But what you have to sort of do is just realize it's just going to happen, and just sort of embrace that sort of grossness feeling for just a little bit, and know that you're going to get through this sort of gross, this is never going to end stage, and know that you can just make it through just by sticking with it and sort of following along with the path and the pattern that most people have done before you. Just knowing that other people have done this before is really sort of enlightening for me, and it really takes a lot of stress off. And you sort of just imagine people that are not nearly as bright as who you are actually doing this and surviving, and that's okay, right? And so if you focus on that, you're going to feel okay with the process. Now, the ultimate goal that I want you to do, and what other people want you to do, is just really love what you're doing and love who yourself, and making sure that you give yourself a lot of, just being happy with who you are. And so when things are going rough, just give yourself a lot of slack in terms of who you feel inside. And if there's other people that are sort of beating you up in terms of, making you feel this way, because often it is driven by that in terms of the emotions of interacting with other people, just give yourself some slack and maybe pull away for a bit from those particular individuals. And then, you can always come back to them once this is all sort of done. And just to give yourself some slack to deal with the difficulties that you're going through. And if you don't get to everything, it's okay. Everybody understands that you're not going to get to everything. That's just part of life. You try your best, you try to do those, and sometimes you just don't get to those particular things, and just realize that there's consequences when you don't get to those things, but those consequences are usually really minor in the grand scheme of things. So with that, that's all I wanted to say, is to stay organized, really focus on this, and focus on how you're feeling inside, rather than focusing on, I have to keep everything all neat and tidy and clean and all that kind of stuff, because that stuff is going to drive you more crazy. It's going to just make you feel not nice inside, by trying to feel like you're organized versus working on, why am I actually feeling like that? What is driving my need to feel organized at this moment? And work on that, sort of those questions of, why am I actually doing that? You actually do feel better when you do that, and you do work on a lot of stuff that's going on in there. So with that, give me one of those, give me a thumbs up, do subscribe to the YouTube channel, take care, and have a wonderful day. All right, bye.